Imagine you're at a family reunion and your great aunt leans in, whispering like she's passing state secrets. Doc, I heard a Chinese study says meat eaters live to 100 and vegans don't. And suddenly, everybody's staring at the ribs on the table like, finally, I can eat my ribs in peace. So today we're going to do what adults do. We're going to verify. First, shout out to @RexWine for the comment and the curiosity. I love when you bring me topics that make me open PubMed like it's Netflix. And yes, there really is a new study out of China looking at who makes it to 100. Here's the headline in plain English. Researchers use a large Chinese aging database and asked a very specific question. Among people who already made it to age 80 and beyond, who was more likely to reach 100? Not who ate one steak and became immortal, just who crossed the centenarian finish line, and how did their eating patterns compare? The study was published online in December 2025 in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, using data from the Chinese Longitudinal Healthy Longevity Survey. They identified 1,457 people who reached age 100 and compared them with 3,744 similar people who didn't make it to 100. Then they looked at dietary patterns, including omnivores, vegetarians, vegan, pesco-vegetarians, and ovo-lacto-vegetarians. And here's what they found. Compared with omnivores, who are people who ate both plant and animal foods, vegetarians had lower odds of becoming centenarians. Vegans also had lower odds. Pesco-vegetarians and ovo-lacto-vegetarians were not statistically different from omnivores in this analysis. Now, before anyone runs outside and starts grilling brisket in the snow like it's a medical procedure, we need to interpret this like adults. Because this study does not prove that meat causes longevity. It shows an association, meaning in this population of very old adults, the people labeled vegetarian or vegan were less likely to reach 100 than omnivores. But it doesn't tell us why. And in medicine, why is the whole game. So let's talk root cause. If you're 25, the conversation is often about metabolic health, insulin resistance, ultra-processed food, and inflammation. If you're 85, the conversation often shifts. The enemy isn't just lab numbers. The enemy is fragility, sarcopenia, which is loss of muscle, undernutrition, falls, infections, hospital stays that steal independence. And in the oldest old, resilience is the currency. And that's where animal foods can matter, because they're nutrient dense and protein dense. Protein isn't just gym talk. Protein is immune function. Protein is wound healing. Protein is maintaining muscle so you can move, cook, and live your life without needing constant help. And animal foods tend to deliver complete protein and key nutrients like B12, iron, zinc, and bioavailable amino acids in a compact package. Now, could you get all of that in a well-planned plant-based diet? Yes, but well-planned matters more as you age, because your margin for error shrinks. Appetite changes, dentition changes, digestion changes. Sometimes you're not meal prepping. You're just trying to eat something, period. So one plausible explanation we see clinically is that some older adults on strict plant-exclusive patterns may end up with lower protein intake, lower total calories, and gaps in key nutrients. Not because plants are evil, because real life is messy. And when nutrition becomes low density, the body has fewer building blocks to stay strong. The study also found something interesting. The association looks stronger in underweight older adults. If you're already underweight at 80 or 90, you don't have a lot of reserve. That's when protein and nutrient density can become the difference between bouncing back and never quite recovering. Now, online debates get weird because people treat vegetarian like it automatically means healthy. But a vegetarian diet can be lentils and vegetables, or it can be refined carbs and sugar with a halo on top. A vegan diet can be whole foods, or it can be soda and fries. So the label is not the whole story. Quality matters. Protein adequacy matters. Micronutrients matter. And in older adults, these details are not optional. And this isn't the only paper pointing in this direction in older Chinese adults. Other analyses using the same aging dataset have reported that vegetarian patterns can be linked with lower odds of healthy aging and higher risk of fragility, especially when diet quality and nutrient density aren't strong. Now let me say this clearly. because I'm not trying to convert anybody into Team Ribeye. My mission is simpler. I want you to stop being afraid of animal foods as if they are automatically harmful, because that fear has been sold to people as health, when in some cases it becomes weakness, fragility, and nutrient gaps with a nice label. So what should you do with this information? First, don't turn one observational study into a religion. Second, don't ignore it either, especially if you're caring for parents, grandparents, or patients in that 70, 80, 90 plus range. Think in terms of a fragility prevention plan. If you eat omnivores, make protein a priority most days. And don't fear nutrient-dense animal foods, eggs, fish, meat, especially when they replace ultra-processed foods. Your body doesn't need more edible chemistry experiments. It needs building material. If you're a vegetarian, you can absolutely do this well, but you need to be intentional. Ask, am I getting enough protein? Am I supplementing B12? Am I getting enough iron and zinc? If you're older, consider whether eggs, dairy, or seafood could be a health upgrade, not a moral failure. If you're vegan, I respect the commitment, but you must respect physiology back. Have a clear B12 plan. Watch protein and total calories. And if you're older or underweight, it's worth discussing with your clinician whether your pattern is supporting strength and resilience. And for everybody, stop making ultra-processed foods the foundation. If your diet, any diet, is mostly packaged food, the label won't protect your metabolism. Now, quick pause. If you're getting value from this kind of trust but verified medicine, hit like, subscribe, and share this with someone who's confused about the meat versus plant debate. We're trying to bring nuance back, one family group chat at a time. Okay, now the caveats, because I want this airtight. This study was observational. People were not randomly assigned to vegan or omnivore at age 80, so there can be confounding. In some contexts, vegetarian may reflect cultural habits, food access, economics, and underlying health. Researchers can adjust for a lot, but no adjustment is perfect. Also, this focuses on the oldest old. This is not the same as saying a 35-year-old should eat like a 95-year-old. Different seasons of life, different risk, different needs. But when we talk about living long, the last chapters of life matter. And the last chapters often fall apart because of fragility, not because someone ate salmon. So anything that helps preserve muscle, immunity, and nutrient status deserves attention. Here's the balanced message to take home. You do not have to be plant-based to be healthy. You do not have to fear animal foods. And if you're older or caring for someone older, nutrient density and protein adequacy are protective medicine. Before you go, I want to hear from you. Where are you watching from? And what's your honest experience? Have animal foods helped you feel stronger and more stable? Or have you thrived on a vegetarian or vegan pattern because you planned it well? Drop it in the comments, but keep it respectful. We can disagree without being weird about it. And if you want more root cause content on metabolic health, weight loss, insulin resistance, and real-world nutrition, check out this video right here on the screen, or subscribe to my channel here. I can't wait to see you in my next video.